Good day, everybody. It's Andrew here, and welcome back to today's update. We have huge updates for seniors and for that stimulus package. First of all, some Democrats are saying that we will have both stimulus packages this week, the physical stimulus plan and the Build Back Better plan, aka the stimulus check plan. We also have a large group of people pushing for a $2,000 stimulus check, saying that Democrats need to do bigger stimulus checks. Otherwise, they're going to keep losing elections like they just lost that governorship election last night. So let's discuss the details in this video. But before we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I also have a second channel, so do me a huge favor. Click on the link that's in the comments of this video. Subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to be giving away multiple stimulus checks on that channel just as a thank you for supporting my work. Okay. So in this video, we're going to hear from Jayapal, which is the progressive Democrat representative from Washington, and she is saying that we most likely will have both stimulus packages done this week. Now, obviously, Congress never hits its deadlines, but it's starting to feel more and more realistic, like this stimulus package is going to get done really quickly, especially after Democrats lost the election for Virginia governor last night. There's a lot more pressure for Democrats to start delivering, and there's a lot more pressure for Democrats to do even larger stimulus checks, as some are calling for a $2,000 stimulus check. Otherwise, Democrats might not win any of these elections. I mean, we have Senate and House seats up for re-election in 2022, and Democrats are worried that they're going to lose control of both chambers unless they start to really deliver for the American people. So although the election was really bad news for Democrats, it was a wake-up call and potentially an inflection point which could really motivate Democrats to do even larger stimulus checks. Now, Jayapal goes on to say in this interview that one of the main things that they should have done in this election in Virginia was to focus on the American Rescue Plan, which was that third stimulus check package. Remember, in March, Democrats delivered on a third stimulus check of $1,400 to the American people. Of course, I say Democrats because not a single Republican voted for that plan, so not to choose sides here, but this is what Jayapal is saying, that because Democrats approved that $1,400 stimulus check in March, they should have been advertising that more and telling the people in Virginia, like, hey, we did this, Democrats did this, Republicans didn't, so you should vote for us so we could do more stimulus checks. And then on top of that, we have some groups pushing for a $2,000 stimulus check. Jayapal is one of those Democrats that actually supported $2,000 per month, right? And then on top of that, she says she expects to have them done by the end of this week because now Democrats are seeing the fallout of what happens when you don't deliver to the American people, right? I mean, let's take seniors, for example. Seniors, like I always say on this channel, my job is to be a voice for seniors and to be a voice for those who are disabled to make sure that Congress keeps its promises. And they promised to increase Social Security benefits. They promised to approve stimulus checks for seniors. And they promised to increase SSI and SSDI. We're about 10 months into President Biden's presidency, and they still have not delivered on these promises. Now, they did do the third stimulus check, but it's been another 6 months and we still don't have the stimulus check for seniors, and we don't have an increase in Social Security benefits. So Jayapal is saying in this interview that Democrats need to deliver on their promises. They need to provide monthly stimulus checks for families with kids. They need to provide stimulus checks for seniors, and they need to address the issues that the American people elected them to do. Now, of course, there are other issues at play here, right? It's not just stimulus checks. And a lot of people are saying that one of the main reasons Democrats lost, besides the stimulus checks being delayed, is inflation. Now, people are frustrated that things are becoming so expensive. Rent has gone up, gas has gone up, food has gone up, medical expenses, everything has gone up, especially for seniors who lived on a fixed income, and seniors are getting hit by this the most. Now, guys, let me know in the comments, what is the biggest issue right now for you that you think Democrats and Republicans should address? Is it the stimulus checks? Is it increasing Social Security benefits? Is it reducing inflation so things don't get more and more expensive for you? Let me know in the comments below. But in any case, let's take a look and see what Jayapal had to say, the representative from Washington, talking about the fact that Democrats need to make a change if they're going to win more elections going forward. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Congresswoman, thank you for joining us this morning. I heard one strategist earlier say if hard infrastructure had passed, Terry McAuliffe would have won. What do you think?
Stephanie, it's great to see you this morning. Look, there is no way that you can blame a 12-point swing on one bill. The reality is that voters do want us to deliver. I think Youngkin appealed to parents and education. I think we have the formula to appeal to parents even more by passing a bill that provides childcare, that provides pre-K, that provides jobs. I mean, both of the infrastructure package and the Build Back Better Act, the entire agenda, the president's agenda, is about jobs. It's about families. It's about rescuing people. And I also just would reject the idea that Congress hasn't done anything and we don't have anything, that candidates don't have anything to run on. Every single candidate could run right now on the American Rescue Plan, which was a phenomenal achievement that Congress got done with not a single Republican vote. With only Democratic votes and tight margins, we delivered shots in arms under President Biden's leadership. We delivered millions of dollars to small businesses under President Biden's leadership. We delivered real money in people's pockets with those survival checks under President Biden's leadership and Democrats in the House and the Senate. So my message now is let's get these two bills done. It's actually been the same message I've had for a couple of weeks. Let's get the two bills done. We will then be able to really appeal to families and say, we do understand your economic pain, and that's why we're going to lower costs for working families across this country with childcare, with pre-K, with housing, with healthcare, with prescription drug pricing, which we just got negotiated, which was amazing, an amazing step forward. Not everything we wanted, but a big start on prescription drug pricing. Those are the things that people want to see us get done, and we're going to pass both of these bills this week.
You do think this week both are going to get passed?
I do. I really do. I think that there's a lot of unity. I have been working, as you said, very hard to deliver all of our Congressional Progressive Caucus members to vote on a bipartisan infrastructure bill, which, some of them weren't too thrilled about. But everybody understands we got to get both these bills done, and we are going to get both these bills done.
Our last night's results a warning that Democrats should change their messaging, their strategy. Think about it. Jamie Harrison, Terry McAuliffe, both moderates who lost, but Republicans painted them as progressives.
Well, I think that the most important thing is we can never run just on anti-Trump. That is not a message that voters are going to resonate to. We have to run on the things we do when voters deliver us majorities in the House, the Senate, and the White House. And so that, I think, is a really important lesson. I think that there was a kind of an attempt to nationalize the race around Trump, but that's not what voters are looking at. They're looking at, can I get childcare so I can go back to work? I mean, women pushed out of the workforce in record numbers over the last 2 years, still haven't returned to the workforce, still can't afford childcare, still don't have pre-K, still don't have health care. These are the things that we can deliver right now to people, and we should. And we also shouldn't make last night's, we should pay close attention to them, don't get me wrong, important for us to deliver. We also just shouldn't assume that that's the course to be. We can change the course by delivering results today that appeal to families who are struggling right now.
We are living, though, in a world of short-termism. And while plans may be in place to create major changes that will help us in the long term, people vote based on what affects them today. And thus far, I have to be honest. I mean, I just interviewed the Treasury Secretary 2 weeks ago. And when I brought up inflation, she kind of brushed it off. And we haven't heard many Democratic lawmakers prioritize gas prices, grocery prices. And these are things that people are talking about every day. They're washing their dishes because their broken dishwasher, they can't get a new one for 2 months. That impacts them today, and people vote based on today.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's absolutely right. We have to recognize the pain, and in the Build Back Better agenda, what we are doing is cutting costs for working families. average working families will see their costs go down because they won't have to pay for childcare, because they will have affordable housing, because their prescription drugs will cost less, and because there is going to be a tax increase on the wealthiest corporations to start to pay their fair share. So you're exactly right. We do have to recognize the pain, and we have to run local, Stephanie. I mean, the thing is, people want to see us paying attention to what's going on in their lives. And so as we think about the work that we have to do in Congress, we should be thinking about what is it that is going to make people, and I've been saying this for months, what is it that is going to make people wake up and feel differently about their lives and their livelihoods? And in my mind, it is costs. You're absolutely right. And it is about lowering those costs for middle class families and working families and poor people across this country. That's what the Build Back Better agenda does. And that's why we're working so hard to get it passed this week.
Then before we go, are you prepared then to lose other voters? Look at the state of New Jersey, where voters said, I don't want to run the risk that my taxes go up. I'm concerned about my property taxes. I'm concerned about SALT and whether maybe that SALT deduction gets put back in. Maybe people making $400,000 or more won't be taxed. But they feel like over the last few months, that's been talked about. And for those who live in those high tax states, those suburban women who didn't vote for Donald Trump, who voted for Joe Biden, are now saying, this doesn't work for me. Are you prepared to lose that voter?
No, I don't think we're going to lose that voter. I think we're going to get some sort of a
Phil Murphy
deal.
lost that voter. Phil Murphy lost that voter last night.
Well, look, I mean, it was the Republicans who ended the SALT deduction. I have sympathy for that perspective because I think we have to be addressing the issue of the wealthiest paying their fair share. But I think that in this bill, there will be everyone will come together and there will be some sort of a compromise on SALT that hopefully is revenue neutral and that doesn't, that doesn't sort of say we're going to prioritize one wealthy person over another. Let's just all pay fair shares and we'll fix that and we'll get a fix to, I believe we'll get a fix to these things and we'll be able to move forward with two packages that address many of the things that people are concerned about.
All right. Monday morning, I invite you back. You think both these are getting passed by Friday?
Yes. I'm working hard on it. I believe we're going to get it done. I really do. And you know, Stephanie, I don't say things without having some reason for believing them. So yeah, we're going to get them done. And look, it's been a hard, it's been hard because negotiations that play out in the public eye in Washington, D.C. Are messy. I mean, democracy is a bit of that's what it is. It's about the negotiation. And the key thing is, in a couple of weeks, nobody's going to remember these 3 weeks that we've been negotiating on these bills, but they are going to see their childcare costs go down. They are going to be able to get back to work. They are going to see their prescription drug pricing costs go down. They are going to see us taking on climate change, something very, very important to young people and all of us across the country, including those of us that live in states where we've had wildfires blazing and floods coming in and record things happening because of climate change. So we are going to get this done, and everybody just hang on a little bit longer. We are to the end of the road here.